Hello, everyone. Miss Debbie here again. Nice to see you. It's bedtime story time. How do you like my new pajamas? This is a nightgown, and this is my house coat. It's one of my favorites. I bought it for my birthday, and if you notice, these are different glasses, and they're blue, and I like to wear them with this pretty blue house coat that I have. So it makes me feel special. You should feel special. Every night that you go to bed, I want you to have sweet dreams. Think of the fun things you did all day, the happy times that you had, and I want you to feel very special. We're going to start with a song that I sang last week to start off, just because I think it's so much fun. It goes like this. Sometimes my mommy takes me over to my friend's house to play. Sometimes she's gone a little while, and sometimes she's gone all day. But my mommy comes back, my mommy comes back, my mommy comes back to get me. My mommy comes back, she always comes back, she never would forget me. Mommies are good like that. So it's the evening. Um, we just had a full moon last week, so now the moon is waning. It's still pretty large in the sky. I think there's a planet up there. I'm not sure what it is. I have to look that up. But for sure, Twinkle is up there, and we're going to look for Twinkle. So first, we're going to make a wish because we've heard about that old adage that you should wish upon a star. I think Jiminy Cricket said it first. Um, so when you wish upon a star, your dreams could come true. So the last couple weeks, I wished for a trip to Disney World. Um, but tonight, I feel like wishing that the libraries would be open soon because I miss my books. I'm lucky I borrowed some books from my sister. My sister is grown up and she saved all her books. I don't save my books because I go to the library. I borrow a book, I bring it back. Why clutter up my house? But if you have a favorite book, you should keep it and keep it forever. So, starlight, star bright, first star I see tonight. I wish I may, I wish I might have the wish I wish tonight. So make a wish, keep it in your heart, or share it. It's okay. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up, up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. I don't know, a big ball of fire, maybe. I love to look at the stars. Bye, Twinkle. Twinkle's going to watch over us tonight. By the way, I found one of my little friends. He's a turtle. Um, you see this? His shell on his back is where he lives, and he pulls in when he's scared, frightened, or maybe possibly when he sleeps. Turtles are very, very shy. If you see them in a pond, they're likely to just go boop and go underwater pretty quickly. This story is about a turtle that lived in a little aquarium in my sister's room. I had a little turtle. It lived in a box. It swam in a puddle and it climbed on the rocks. It snapped at a mosquito. It snapped at a flea. It snapped at a minnow and it snapped at me. Don't put your finger in a turtle's mouth. Bad move. It caught the mosquito. It caught the flea. It caught the minnow, but it didn't catch me. So he's eating the minnow. the flea, and whatever else. And now he's going to digest his supper and go to bed. Good night, little turtle. So, our first story today is one I got from uh, it's called a little free library. You might see them around. This one was in front of a daycare center where people put books and borrow books. So I looked through because I needed a new story, and I found this. And this is one of my favorites. It's a book about Davy, a story about Davy, a little rabbit. And this one's called "What's the Matter, Davy?" And here is a picture of Davy and his family. He's got lots of brothers and sisters. And see that little toy bunny that's flying in the air? That's his Davy's toy, Nicky. Davy loved his toy rabbit, Nicky. Nicky had long floppy ears, dangly legs, and a little round body, and Davy never went anywhere without him. They slept together at night and they played together all day. They paddled in the stream, played in their secret den in the forest, and floated bark boats across the pond. When it was time to go home, Davy always tucked Nicky into the hood of his cloak and hopped back to the burrow. And here is Davy sitting on the tree branch playing with his little bark boat. One day, Davy came home, took off his cloak, and reached into the hood. But Nicky was not there. Davy gasped in horror. I must have dropped Nicky, he told his mother. I'll have to go back and look for him. All right, said his mother, but don't be long. It's nearly supper time. Take your brother Donnie with you. He'll help you find Nicky. Davy and Donnie looked in the rushes at the side of the stream. They looked in the forest and all along the paths, but there was no sign of Nicky. Oh no, where can he be? Said Davy. Come on, Davy, said Donnie. It's getting dark. Let's go home. We'll find Nicky in the morning. See, it's getting dark. There's the moon coming up. Mother had made a big pot of vegetable stew. It was just delicious, and everybody had second helpings, except Davy. He wasn't hungry. What's the matter, Davy? Asked Mother. I thought you liked my vegetable stew. How can I eat, said Davy, when Nicky is out there alone in the dark? Aw. Davy couldn't get to sleep. He tossed and turned in his bed. What's the matter, Davy? Whispered his big brother Dan. I can't stop thinking about Nicky. Don't worry, said Dan. I'll help you find him tomorrow. Then Daisy lent Davy her doll. So you won't have to sleep alone tonight, she said. Thank you, said Davy. He snuggled down under the blanket and hugged Daisy's doll, but he still could not sleep. In the middle of the night, Davy crept into his parents' room. Mama, he sobbed, what if I never find Nicky? Mother Rabbit held him tight until he stopped crying. Then she whispered, Tomorrow we will all help you search. I'm sure we will find him. In the morning, the whole family went out to look for Nicky. They searched high and low and high, but found no sign of Nicky at all. Poor Davy, thought Mother. She hopped back to the burrow and took out her sewing basket. When Davy came home looking tired and sad, his mother called him. I have something for you, she said. It has long floppy ears, dangly legs, and a little round body. It's Nicky, cried Davy. You found him. No, Davy, I'm sorry. It's not Nicky. I made you a new toy rabbit. She gave it to Davy. There. Do you like it? Yes, Mama. Thank you, Mama, said Davy quietly, and he gave his mother a kiss. Dave took his new toy rabbit to bed with him. It was the same size as Nicky. It was as soft and cuddly as Nicky. It looked as clean and bright as Nicky used to look when he was new. But it was not Nicky. Maybe I just need to get used to you, Davy said. He laid the new toy on his pillow, sighed, and went to sleep. Days passed, and Davy finally gave up looking for Nicky. He picked up his new toy and went out to play in his den in the forest. The sun was shining, flowers were blooming, and high above Davy's head a bird was singing so joyfully. It sang so beautifully that Davy looked up to the tree and he saw something blue. It was Nicky caught in the fork of a branch. Nicky, shouted Davy, what are you doing up there? Davy stretched and gently lifted Nicky down. Then he hugged him very tight. Nicky, my Nicky, he whispered, and then he ran all the way home. That night, Davy went to talk to his mother. I've thought of a name for my new toy rabbit, he said. It's Dicky. Well, how nice, said his mother, Nicky and Dicky. Davy looked thoughtfully at the two toy rabbits. You know what, Mama, he said. I'm lucky to have two toys, but I can't help loving one of them best. Mama just smiled. Davy went over to the crib where his little sister Dinah lay, waving her arms in the air. Look, Dinah, this is Dicky, he said. You can have him. I hope you'll love him as much as I love Nicky. And then Davy kissed Dinah good night and hopped off to his own bed, where he cuddled Nicky into his arms and fell fast asleep. The end. Isn't that a sweet story? I just love it. Very sweet story. Okay, so talking about love between brothers and sisters, Davy and Dinah, and Davy and his mama. Let's sing Skidamarink. Okay, we know the words again, and remember we use sign language to say "I love you." So I is pointing to yourself with your pointer finger. I love you, pointing to you with your pointer finger. Or you could use the shortcut, which looks like this: pointer finger up, pinky up, thumb up, middle fingers down, wiggle them. Means I love you. Baby language, baby sign language. Skidamarink-a-dinky-dink, skidamarink-doo. I love you. Skidamarink-a-dinky-dink, skidamarink-doo. I love you. I love you in the morning and in the afternoon. I love you in the evening and underneath the moon. Oh, skidamarink-a-dinky-dink, skidamarink-doo. I love you. I love you. Maybe next time I'll look up the sign language for morning and night and moon. It could be fun. I'll do some homework. What do you think about that? All righty. Our second story tonight is one by Eric Carle called Mr. Seahorse. I love this. I love seahorses, and I'll show you my seahorse at the end of the book. Seahorses have lots of babies at one time. Here's another picture on the front. Mr. Seahorse by Eric Carle. Mr. and Mrs. Seahorse drifted gently through the sea. Mrs. Seahorse began to wiggle and twist this way and that. Wiggle, wiggle, twist, twist. It's time for me to lay my eggs, she said. Can I help? Asked Mr. Seahorse. Oh, yes, thank you, said Mrs. Seahorse, and she laid her eggs into a pouch on Mr. Seahorse's belly. I'll take good care of our eggs, said Mr. Seahorse. I promise. Can you think of other animals that would have a pouch for their babies? As Mr. Seahorse drifted gently through the sea, he passed right by a group of trumpet fish hidden in a patch of reeds. This is one of those fun picture books. Can you see the trumpet fish hidden in that patch of reeds? Look, look, look. There they are. Now Mr. Seahorse is in the patch over here. Before long, Mr. Seahorse met another fish. How are you, Mr. Stickleback? Asked Mr. Seahorse. Delighted, replied Mr. Stickleback. I just built a nest, and right away Mrs. Stickleback laid her eggs into it. Now I am taking good care of them until they hatch. Keep up the good work, said Mr. Seahorse, and swam on his way. So here is Mr. Stickleback, and his eggs are stickling to his back. No, sticking. Isn't that funny? Boy, oh boy, we're going to see how many fish are different where they lay their eggs. As Mr. Seahorse drifted gently through the sea, he passed right by a lionfish hidden behind a coral reef. They seem to be the same color. That's why he's hidden so well. And there he is. Before long, Mr. Seahorse met another fish. How are you, Mr. Tilapia? Asked Mr. Seahorse. Mr. Tilapia couldn't answer. His mouth was full of eggs. I know, said Mr. Seahorse. Mrs. Tilapia laid her eggs. Now you are taking good care of them until they hatch. Mr. Tilapia nodded his head. You must be very happy, said Mr. Seahorse, and he swam on his way. And there's Mr. Tilapia with the egg babies in his mouth. I guess they're safe. Silly. As Mr. Seahorse drifted gently through the sea, he passed right by several leaf fish hidden among the seaweed. Oh, look at the seaweed. Can we see the leaf fish in there? There they are. Before long, Mr. Seahorse met another fish. How are you, Mr. Curtis? Asked Mr. Seahorse. Oh, perfectly fine, replied Mr. Curtis. Mrs. Curtis laid her eggs, and I have stuck them on my head. Now I am taking good care of them until they hatch. You are doing a good job, said Mr. Seahorse, and swam on his way. And there's Mr. Curtis with the eggs on his head. As Mr. Seahorse drifted gently through the sea, he passed right by a stonefish hidden behind a rock. Ooh, big rock. Big stonefish. Before long, Mr. Seahorse met another fish. How are you, Mr. Pipe? Asked Mr. Seahorse. I couldn't be better, replied Mr. Pipe. Mrs. Pipe laid her eggs along my belly, and now I am taking good care of them until they hatch. You should feel very proud of yourself, said Mr. Seahorse, and swam on his way. See those little eggs on Mr. Pipe's belly. Before long, Mr. Seahorse met another fish. How are you, Mr. Bullhead? Asked Mr. Seahorse. Oh, tip-top, replied Mr. Bullhead. Mrs. Bullhead laid her eggs, and the eggs hatched. Now I'm babysitting. You are doing a fine job, said Mr. Seahorse, and swam on his way. Look at all those fish. I think they call a lot of fish together is called a school of fish. The time had come for the seahorse babies to be born. Mr. Seahorse wiggled and twisted this way and that. At last, the babies tumbled from Mr. Seahorse's pouch and swam away. One baby turned around and tried to come back into the pouch. Oh no, said Mr. Seahorse. I do love you, but now you are ready to be on your own. And here are all the little seahorses coming out of his pouch, and here's the little one that turned around. Nope, you got to go on your own. I love seahorses. The end. I think if you go to Point Pleasant on the boardwalk, there's an aquarium called Jenkinson's, and they used to have a little seahorse tank. I don't know if it's still there. There were a few seahorses in it. Seahorses are very tiny and they're very fragile. So you know how big the ocean is. This is my jar of shells. You know how big the ocean is, but look at how small a seahorse is. How delicate and small, and how easy he could get lost or she could get lost in the waves. And do you see his pouch right there? Imagine how tiny those baby seahorses are. Look at how the tail curls up. I don't know where I got this seahorse. I might have found it on the beach. But I've had it for a long time, and I would be very sad to ever lose it. I keep him with my jar of shells when I have beautiful shells. Look at these shells. Look at that. I love to collect shells. I think a lot of these shells came from Florida. Look at that. It's so beautiful. Would that make a necklace or what? How about an earring? Ooh. I heard the ocean. I heard the ocean in the shell. I heard the waves. This is remarkable. I hope you get a chance to go to the beach and find a shell and try to listen to the ocean through the shell. Now, you won't find it from a little clamshell because it doesn't go deep enough. But these little shells are great. You could just fill it with water and pretend that you're having a tea party or a sea party. Oh, that was kind of a joke. A sea party. Anyway, those are our stories for tonight. And remember, I told you last week, my mom used to say, who wants to go to Lily White's party? And we all said, yes, 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 I want to go to Lily White's party. It sounds so much fun. A party in the evening. And it turned out that Lily White just meant the lily white sheets on your bed and your pillow, and it meant you were going to bed. But it still sounded fun every time she said, who wants to go to Lily White's party? So before we go to bed, we put on our jammies, get all comfortable, take off our clothes and put them in the hamper, and just get ready for bed. This is the way we wash our face, wash our face, wash our face. This is the way we wash our face before we go to bed. This is the way we comb our hair, comb our hair, comb our hair. This is the way we comb our hair before we go to bed. This is the way we brush our teeth, brush our teeth, brush our teeth. This is the way we brush our teeth before we go to bed. This is the way we blow a kiss, blow a kiss, blow a kiss. This is the way we blow a kiss, mwah, before we go to bed. Yeah, go hippity hop to bed. I'd rather stay up instead. When mother says must, there's nothing but just. Go hippity hop to bed. So you hip hop up the stairs, take your little bunny or whoever you're sleeping with, and you go to bed. And mommy will tuck you in, and maybe she'll sing you a song. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Noisy kiss now. Say goodnight. Sweet, sweet, sweet dreams. I wish you sweet dreams.